Welcome to the Lawsalooza podcast, a legal comedy podcast where we discuss some of the most ridiculous laws and bizarre court cases from around the world, all while sipping on an adult beverage that is somehow related to the theme of that week. My name is Miranda Dews.
I'm Lindsey Reedy.
And I'm Shawna Vasilko.
We're three North Carolina attorneys bringing you a unique twist on legal cases, but please do not misconstrue anything in this podcast. We are not giving legal advice.
Especially not on today's topic. It's going to be an odd one.
So don't forget to like and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Google Podcast, Anchor, YouTube, anywhere else you might find our podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Lawsalooza Podcast. Or if you have a law or case suggestion you would like us to discuss, a theme idea, you want to send us a note, some compliments, you can email us at lawsaloozapodcast@gmail.com. Now for our next episode, where the theme is aliens. So we'll have our three-part with the drink, the law, and the case. So what law might we be talking about today?
We're going to talk about space law.
Oh, space law.
Yeah.
And the title of the case today is John Ford and the Conspiracy to Assassinate Over Aliens.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a wild ride, so everybody hold on tight. It's a tough one to follow.
Okay. So our drink of this week is called Alien Secretion. I hate that name because the word secretion sounds like bodily fluids and it's gross. I wanted to call it just the alien, but then I looked that up and that's actually a different drink with different ingredients.
It does kind of look like secretion now.
It's
green. Oh, no, Shawna.
It's like a lime green color, but this is made with equal parts of vodka, coconut rum, and melon liqueur. And then the recipe said to add a splash of pineapple juice, which I took to mean add mostly pineapple juice. So I'm kind of wondering if I should have added more pineapple juice.
It smells incredible.
Also, yeah.
What is it that smell? Is it like a watermelon Jolly Rancher?
It does kind of smell like that. I think it's the melon liqueur, because I've actually, I don't think I've ever tasted that, but when I opened the bottle, it was just this, like, overwhelming, like, melony smell, which I guess that makes sense, but, like, it smells really good. I'm like, I kind of want to taste this by itself and see what it tastes like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here goes.
Cheers. All right. Cheers. Cheers, ladies.
It's good.
That's good.
It is pretty good. Good job.
Okay, Alien Secretion.
Another winner for Miranda.
You've been killing it.
You should be a bartender on the side.
I really
Or just
should.
when we get together. Which is every day, because you work with me.
And I can make our laws. Oh my goodness, we could open up like a Lawsalooza themed bar and have our drinks from the week.
If
That
there's
is a good
any
idea.
investors who want to help us pull that idea together, please get in contact with us.
At our llama winery. Oh my goodness, no! We just skipped the winery because it's too hard to take care of grapes, so we can just have like a llama bar.
A llama bar.
Where we serve the cocktails from our show with llamas.
Chef's kiss. Great idea.
I'm full of good ideas. All my ideas are good all the time, always.
If we have not explained the llama winery part of this, I feel like we do need to let you guys in on this, because I think this is just a concept we've talked about amongst the three of us.
Yes.
Before we launched this podcast, we had went to the llama winery out in, gosh, where was it?
It's near Winston-Salem, and
Yeah.
it's called Divine Llamas, and it's amazing.
It is
Highly
incredible.
recommend.
Yes, it was great.
Incredible. So we have decided we would like to open one of our own, and apparently we're going to open it up with a Lawsalooza themed bar. So, makes sense.
I think this is
it's
a great idea. We've had a lot of winning drinks that
Yeah.
the public needs to know about, and llamas are really cute, so.
Except they spit on you, which I did not know when we went to the llama winery.
But we did not get spit
They
on.
did not spit on us.
I was about to say, we didn't get spit on once.
No, we didn't, even though Shawna maybe she
No.
had.
You're not going there.
Shawna.
All right, now to the law. I like that segue, huh? Oh, wait, first off, do you guys believe in aliens?
Okay, that's a good question, and it's actually a question I was going to pose at the
Oh,
end of my
sorry.
case. No, but I think
We can ask it at the beginning and see if we've changed our
I think that's a valid question. I don't know. I've seen evidence to support both sides. I'm still on the fence.
I would say no, but also, like, I am really afraid of aliens. I don't believe they exist, but they terrify me. And I think it's because when I was a child, I watched E.T., part of E.T., and I had nightmares for, I think I still have nightmares. I refuse to watch E.T.
You definitely want him to go home.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think at the end of the movie, doesn't, the FBI take him or something?
No, he goes off on the bicycle.
I don't know. I didn't.
Right?
I watched...
I thought he went on the bike.
10 minutes of the movie, and it was very scary, and I was traumatized. I am afraid of aliens and also chimpanzees, so.
Wait, okay, hold on. TV timeout. TV timeout. We need to know why you're afraid of chimpanzees.
They just think they look weird, and they make me very uncomfortable.
That's like 65% of everything in this world, Miranda.
But not specifically.
The chimpanzees.
They make me very nervous as to aliens. Whether or not they exist, I feel nervous about it. So, not a fan.
So you don't believe just for pure anxiety relief?
Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
Oh, I'm more towards the no side. Because I think of aliens like our friend in the corner over there, the little green Martians. I'm like, yeah, they don't exist.
It's making me nervous.
Of course we would put him over your shoulder.
Well, when I was researching alien laws, I kept getting information on people that are not considered citizens of a country and how the laws of that country apply to those individuals. So I was like, well, that's not what I'm looking for. So then I tried typing in extraterrestrials, got the same results. So I was like, a little concerned, but okay. So I eventually landed on Martian. Let me search Martian law and see what's out there for that.
Interesting.
And something popped up.
Oh, okay.
So, what laws or authority govern the colonization of space?
Maritime law.
That's the sea.
Felt right.
Yeah, but in the movie The Martian, did you see that movie?
No, I have not.
They talk about that. That's like an issue. And I remember them talking about it, and I think they did say it was maritime law. But maybe they were just joking. I don't know. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. I saw that.
It could have evolved since then.
Well, when I was looking into this more and about the colonization of Mars and stuff like that, it actually is a hot button topic that, guess who has?
Elon Musk.
Yes,
absolutely. He was trying to get people on board for that.
And
I was
SpaceX.
Like, this is a terrible idea.
Elon Musk and other private advocates for the colonization of Mars have declared that the red planet is a free planet. So there are no laws that govern Mars and the colonization of Mars. He has even been in the works to develop a constitution for Mars, declaring that no earthly law governs the planet.
How does he have the authority to do that?
Yes, it's just
I'll get there.
Okay. I have concerns.
First come, first serve.
That's
but
kind
no
of
one
the
is
thought
there,
that some people
except for,
have.
Robot satellites or something.
Well, the United States and many other countries have actually entered into an outer space treaty way back in 1967. And under Articles 1 and 3 of the treaty, international law applies in outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, and influences all activity conducted to do with anything in outer space.
So, okay, TV timeout. On the international law, I'm a little confused. That's a very broad.
Yeah.
So, did they give any more information than just international law?
Nope. Just said. Well, the treaty goes on to say that states retain jurisdiction and control over any registered space objects and any personnel thereof while in outer space or on a celestial body. So, this principle is known as quasi-territorial jurisdiction and serves the purpose of ensuring this applicability of relevant national laws, preventing space from being abandoned to the rule of the strongest. So they're saying that international law governs, and not just whoever can get there first gets to make all the laws.
Yeah, but I feel like whoever gets there first will make all the laws. Yeah, and then we'll just have to fight it out and see.
Right. Well, that's kind of along the lines of what Elon Musk is going. But they're saying that since SpaceX is an American company, he is obligated to follow the rules of the treaty.
I mean, that makes sense.
He says, nah. He continues to advocate that Mars is a free planet and has proposed that the following rules or laws for Mars should apply. As of March 28th, he commented on the first government, and he would like it to kind of be a representative system, like what was first started in America when it was being colonized. So everyone gets a vote on every topic. So each vote counts equally. So you don't have like senators and people representing you. And that's kind of what he has proposed starting. And it's kind of funny because they actually have, SpaceX can actually take lots of people, and they're saying that by 2050 that they're going to try to start colonizing Mars.
I don't think that's going to work. I think
crazy.
everybody's going to die.
Okay,
It's not going to work. They're all going to, don't do this. Everybody's going to die.
Don't go to Mars?
Don't go to Mars. No.
I don't know. If I'm going to go out, that's kind of a cool way to go out, though, right?
By, like, suffocating to death?
No, okay, I see your point.
How long does it even take to get to Mars?
I feel like several years, maybe. I don't know. It might be less time than that. Somebody can fact check us in the comments.
Well, I had a question, like, not all countries entered this treaty, and it's probably the ones that can't afford to go to Mars, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point. What if they hadn't entered this treaty and they can get to Mars? So what happens
Also,
with them?
you said it was in 1967, right?
Yeah.
So, at the time, Russia was the USSR. So, if Russia got there first, would they say that they're bound under that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been...
Because I feel like that's something Putin would try to do. Be like,
Very
LOL,
Putin of
guys.
him. Yeah, no.
So I don't know if the countries that aren't part of the treaty are Russia, because they do whatever they want anyways.
Or like North Korea.
Yeah.
I
Do you think Mars should be considered a free planet?
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah, why do we think we own everything else?
Yeah.
We, as in the world, own the rest of everything?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. I don't know. So you think it should just be free?
Well, I don't know why we need to colonize it.
Because we're screwing this planet
Our world
up.
is
So we're going to go screw up another one.
Pretty
Right,
much,
right,
yeah,
right.
that's the game plan. Oh,
we
man.
done with this one. Let's go try a new
I don't
one.
know. That's a good question.
What kind of laws do you think should be the first laws?
I mean, I'm kind of dumbfounded at the fact that this is even a real issue, but it's wild.
Yeah.
Would you want to be one of the first people to colonize
No,
Mars?
because they're all going to die.
Miranda, first off, she's terrified of aliens, so hard pass.
Yes.
Not going out of...
Second off, she is not ready to lose any sort of oxygen, so hard pass.
Exactly.
I, on the other hand, would be like, I might be open to it, depending upon how far we've advanced by the time we're ready to go.
I'm probably too chicken to be one of the first people. Like, you need to get...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Some
Like,
things there that
I need to
like.
see other people go in there and not dying before I would be.
Not dying.
And I kind of like some of my creature comforts. Like, are you going to be able to take an air conditioner with you? Or a heater? Like, I don't know what the
Do you
temperature
even
is.
need
Red,
that?
it's
Yeah,
probably
I don't
hot,
know.
right?
Yeah.
Warm.
Yeah, I think it's probably
I need an air conditioner. I don't know.
I don't know enough about space to even.
But I thought it was interesting. So now we know that the laws governing outer space are international laws.
Whatever that means. There's a lot there. So,
And it's quasi-territorial,
Interesting.
solid.
which really just means kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort
Kind of, sort
But
of
not really.
territorial.
Depending on the day.
Who knows?
I was a little upset I didn't really find laws on, like, I don't know,
Aliens.
actual aliens.
Yeah, or, like,
and
UFOs or something.
There was a little something on how the federal government has to disclose all the UFOs, but it wasn't nearly as exciting as I was hoping.
But they
'cause
don't
they're not.
know.
Yeah.
Because they're not telling us the fun ones.
Wait,
Exactly.
time out. This
Oh.
is what this case is about.
Oh,
great. So, our case today is a wild ride. There's
Yes.
a lot of information, a lot to unpack, so make sure you've got your listening ears on. I feel like I'm talking to my nephew, but so just a very brief summary, we can break this case down into one sentence. There's a man named John Ford, and he plotted an assassination of 3 men, and who he believed were actively covering up UFO activity on Long Island.
Long Island.
But why was he going to assassinate them?
Oh, I will get into that. There's some motive
I have
behind this.
many questions.
So,
And just 3 men covering it up? Not more? Just 3.
yeah. Well, these are the 3 he chose, and I'll get into this later.
Interesting.
It was never understood why he actually chose these 3 people. Like, he never explained his reasoning behind it. But
Was he trying to hire a hitman?
no, he was gonna do it himself. DIY.
He should have checked out that site.
We really should have. May have saved him some heartache at this point. But anyway, so the plot to assassinate these people is around this idea that he was going to use radium to kill these 3 people slowly by giving them...
Wait, when was this?
This was back in 1995, 1996.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the 60s for some reason.
Radium?
Yeah, how do you even get that?
We get there.
Oh, okay.
We've got everything covered today because I could not believe this. But anyway, so like I said earlier, it focused on 3 men. John Powell, who was the chairman of Suffolk County Republican Committee. Fred Towle, who was the Suffolk County legislator. Tony Gazzola, who was the investigator for the Brookhaven town attorney. And like I said earlier, they could not understand his reasoning on why he picked these 3 people.
These are like local politicians.
Yeah.
I thought you going to be
This is
high up in the U.S. government. Okay.
Nope, it's local because his belief was that, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but there was a massive fire that burned a lot of the Long Island forest, and he believed it was set on fire by the government to cover a UFO.
That is very random. Okay.
Yeah. So beyond John Ford, there were 2 other people that were involved in this assassination. Joe Mazzucchelli, I think is how you pronounce his name, and Ed Szabo. Joe Mazzucchelli was described as a wiry, tattooed former junkyard worker, and he had almost a 24-year criminal record at the time. He was a burglar, and so he was perfect for this plot. Then Ed Szabo was a U.S. government inspector, and he had been stationed at a defense contractor where the radium was located.
Oh, okay.
And he was involved in this because he had severe financial issues. It was ruining his marriage, and so the only reason he got involved in this plot was purely for the cash. So...
Find other ways, but okay.
Yeah. So the full plot goes a little bit like this. So John Ford, he stalked these people and would figure out their schedules and kind of figure out where they're going to be and when. And then, so he would do the groundwork for everything. Mazzucchelli was to do the break-ins. Obviously, he's a burglar. And he was going to place the radium in their food, their homes, cars, things of that nature.
Do we know what radium,
I
don't know much about radium.
I don't fully understand it. All I know is it can cause cancer. So
well, he's going to kill him real slow.
That was the whole plan, is he wanted them to suffer.
Ooh.
It was very much like it was not a we're killing you quickly. He had access to guns and chose not to try to kill them via shooting them. He actively wanted to make it painful. And so, anyways,
that's the worst kind of killer.
Yeah.
Szabo was the one who was responsible for supplying the 5 canisters of radium that was going to be used in the homes of these 3 victims. And like I said, he worked for the defense contractor, and so that's where he was able to obtain the radium from. Now, this plot was exposed in June of 1996 when an unrelated investigation of illegal gun trades uncovered the plan. Now, Mazzucchelli spoke to someone trying to buy illegal guns from Mazzucchelli. He was selling illegal guns at the time. Okay. And someone came to buy guns from him, and he mentioned that he had actually stalked one of the victims, Mazzucchelli did, to this buyer. And this buyer went to the police and snitched.
After buying did he tell him he was buying illegal guns?
I have no idea. I'm surprised that he snitched. But he did, so he snitched.
Trying to get a deal on his charges that he'll eventually get,
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure that's what happened. Now, after he snitched, the law enforcement set up a taping at John Ford's house for a meeting that was supposed to be happening on June 11th, 1996, amongst the Ford and his co-conspirators, and there was a couple other people that were actually there that were unrelated to the actual plot. Now, during the meeting, Ford and the co-conspirators talked about how the victims would be glowing in 24 hours because they were going to put so much radium in their homes. So it was so much radioactive material that they were going to be putting in them that they would be glowing in 24 hours.
So he wanted to make them turn into aliens.
I guess so. That are superhumans, dead superhumans, but nonetheless. But thankfully, no radium was placed before these three were arrested. Now,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Now, after the plot was exposed, people had a very hard time taking it seriously. Like, the three victims were like, "Are you kidding me? This is bizarre."
Well, yeah. I feel like that's an appropriate reaction.
Oh, yeah. And they weren't scared. But the investigators and those that were affiliated with uncovering the plot were seriously concerned. Now, the reason why is because John Ford was a very nice, very normal guy.
Are we sure?
That is what his friends had said. No one would have expected this from him.
I feel like this is not normal.
He rescued dogs. He was like a dog rescuer. Like, people described him
With
as
a
that
side
great
hobby
neighbor.
of assassinating
Yeah,
people.
really though. Like this great neighbor who would take care of their homes when they went on vacation.
Okay,
like,
maybe they should stop that.
Oh, I 100% agree. And after everything was uncovered, obviously, there was neighbors that actually moved out from around his house because they were afraid he still had radium in the home.
Yeah, I mean, valid, yeah.
So people started selling their houses in that neighborhood, which I probably would too. But he was described as just leading a very average life. But this goes back to the people that were taking this and had very seriously and had some concerns. So, for example, the Suffolk County prosecutor, James Catterson, said, "This convinces me that there is a side to humanity that defies definition. While we may think of them as kooks and far-outs, the point is that they lead daily lives that are able to go along. But within them, they harbor thoughts which seldom, but do, surface, so we must be on guard." People are still like, "This is stupid." I mean, there's no way he would have carried this out. But the prosecutor's concern was further supported by the fact that the Long Island UFO Network, which John Ford founded, we'll get into a little bit of his background here in a second. The Long Island UFO Network, that there was over 300 plus members that actually paid dues to be in this group. Oh yeah, we'll get into the network too. Oh, there's a lot.
What did they do?
What did they do?
They started campaigning for his release. They created a free John Ford website, and they started to raise money.
But what did they do before that?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll get down.
I have many questions.
So, just a little bit of background on good old John Ford. Now, when all this happened, he was in his late 40s. He was a retired security officer / bailiff at the courthouse where he would have stood trial.
Would have
stood trial.
Interesting.
It is said that there were 3 major events that caused him to kind of go off the rails. Because, like I said, all of his neighbors, everyone he interacted with, said he was this nice, kind person who helped them with their homes, animals, he volunteered his time, things of that nature. So the 3 events is that he had to medically retire from his job as a security officer after an injury. The Pine Barrens fire burned down a significant portion of the Long Island forest, and this is the fire that we'll be talking about in a second, the motive behind all of the things that he goes on to do. And his mother died from cancer, all within a short time span.
So he wanted to give people cancer after seeing his mom die from it? That's
terrible.
I agree. Well, him and his mom were very close too, so he saw how she suffered. So it's not like this was oh, my mom died, but I never see her kind of thing. Like, he was actively involved in her
terrible.
care. And so,
Yeah.
It makes it even worse.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like I said, his friends that were interviewed said he was 100% harmless. He collected coins. He lived with his mother. And, like, for example, now this is from the vice president of the Long Island UFO Network, so take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. John is one of the most reasonable people I know. We're talking about a guy who has a normal job and a nice house. Now, here's something interesting. So this man had a plethora of guns and gas masks and, like, minesweepers and various weapons like that.
Doomsday.
And, the friends were asked, okay, if you're telling us this guy is so normal, so nice, explain these weapons to us.
Yeah.
And they're like, quote, that was more correlated with John's love of expensive toys and nonviolence.
Okay.
I was like, okay. All right. I don't know if, I mean...
Minesweeper?
Yeah, I don't fully understand what that is.
Isn't that the thing that you do? Yeah, that's it.
In case you needed the sound effects. I'm here for you.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And his friends firmly believed, and kept saying over and over again that the government was lying about what he did.
Of course.
They were all liars. They were all liars. He's this great person.
Okay.
Whatever. Now, at the end of some of the interviews, they did agree that he did have a very strong passion about UFOs. He was the founder and chairman of the Long Island UFO Network and would go speak at libraries and country clubs trying to recruit people, especially college kids, to come join the network.
Those young and impressionables.
Mm-hmm. So I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about the Long Island UFO Network.
Is it still active?
I actually don't know. There's there is a UFO network, but it's an international one, and so I couldn't find
that makes
anything
sense
on
since
this
they have to follow that
specifically.
law.
Yeah.
True, very true. So Ford actually founded this group in 1988. He would call the members of the group investigators, and they would interview people who reported alien abductions and urge them to submit to a polygraph examination so that way they could actually prove that their story was true.
Because polygraph is really reliable, one.
Yeah. And then they also had a hotline that the public could call to report a UFO crash. And when those UFO crashes were reported, they would take these Geiger counters to the alleged site to probe for evidence of alien presence. So for those of you that don't know what those are, essentially it's an electronic instrument that is used for detecting and measuring ionizing radiation. So I guess that's affiliated with an alien.
Well, how does he know that?
Yeah, how would they know that?
That's a great question. I don't know.
This kind of sounds like that Bigfoot network where you just like self-report.
Yeah, pretty much. It's an interesting
have any
group.
radiation. They don't know.
Yeah.
Should ask Bob back there.
You got any radiation, Bob? But so the members or the investigators would also gather for night watches of the sky. So they'd take turns watching the sky to see if they could see any UFO crashes.
I mean, I just feel like that's too much effort.
It's a lot. I mean, it's dedication. If nothing else, if you do not believe in this stuff, you have to admire the dedication. So, anyways, there's a guy named Ivarone, and this is back to the VP of the Long Island UFO Network. And he called all of the members straight arrows. They're not really straight arrows. Let me confirm to you that after this assassination plot was uncovered, and it broke out in the news, several of the members of the UFO Network group started going and slashing tires of the victims, throwing rocks at their houses, broke into their offices as well, and destroyed property. So,
that's a little much.
It's aggressive.
He didn't kill you, so now we're gonna torment you. That
Slash
sounds
your
good.
tires, yeah.
That
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so now back to the actual assassination planning, because like I said, there's this fire that's involved, and it's important here. Now, apparently, after his mom died, the fire had happened, and he became absolutely consumed by it. He friends and family said that he grew very angry, very passionate. He started calling government officials and demanding answers. Like, there's records of everything that he was calling and asking for, and was threatening that they were covering everything up. He actually sent out a newsletter to the Long Island UFO Network members reporting that the fire had in fact been caused by a UFO crash, which federal and local agents covered up by starting other fires away from the crash site.
Did he have any proof of this?
Not that I could find. That was never mentioned in anything I read. So, other than just, I think, like a hard-found belief that this is how that works.
So, like, and again, it's like the Bigfoot lady from what episode is that for?
It is.
Yeah.
I haven't done any research, but it's my opinion.
Now, I will say, he had done research on other UFO sightings for, like, the group was founded in 1988, and this happened in, like, 1995, 1996, so it had been several years of him doing some very intense...
Did other UFO crashes cause fires that the government covered up or something?
I don't know.
I feel like I have not heard of that, but also I don't
just make the crop circles.
Google.
And leave.
Yeah.
Okay, that movie also terrified me.
Which
Signs.
one? Wait.
Oh.
I don't know if I saw that movie.
Don't watch it. It's really scary. The part when they're like, have you seen it?
Yes.
They're like in the closet hiding and the alien just sticks his fingers under the door. That freaked me out for years. Still now, like I always watch, and my cats put their paw under the door. And,
We're gonna hide this alien guy in your
Please
office.
don't.
Yeah, it's just
Someone
like
else's office.
Hide it in like the cabinet or something, so when you open it,
like the file drawer you open it.
If you do that, please record it. We'll share it with you. Bonus content. So, anyway, so this goes on. A trial for conspiracy to murder the 3 Suffolk County political figures is going to be held for John Ford. Now, ultimately, Mazzucchelli and Szabo pleaded guilty to lesser crimes in exchange for their testimony against Ford.
Oh, okay. They turned on him.
Mm-hmm. Now,
They're criminals. They know how it works.
I probably would have too. I will definitely rat you out if it helps me.
Well, especially Szabo, because he's just in this for like the money part of it. I mean, he's having issues with his wife.
Improve his marriage. I'm sure this
didn't
help.
I can't imagine this ended well for him. But so unsurprisingly, Ford was dubbed insane and unable to stand trial.
That checks out.
But it's interesting. So he actually wrote a letter to the vice president of the Long Island UFO Network. And this is what he said in his letter. If I go up to Mid-Hudson Psychiatric Center for 6 months as incompetent to stand trial, then I'll come back and most likely the charges will be dismissed. So far, I left the first doctor mumbling to himself with all the information I gave him. I guess I'll have a repeat performance with the next doctor tomorrow.
Oh, a performance. So he's rigging it.
Acting insane. And that's not exactly how that works. You don't get to be insane and then go back and your charges are just gone.
Well, it's interesting because the doctors actually commented. It's not in my notes, but I read several articles about this. But the doctors who actually gave him the examination had said, even with this letter, whatever, even the stuff he was saying that he so firmly believed was enough for them to dub him insane.
Huh.
About all his beliefs about aliens. And then he went further, and he was starting to call himself a master spy. He's been a master spy his whole life. He was supposed to be spying on a KGB while he was up in Long Island.
Okay, I feel like that was part of the performance.
That was definitely part of the performance. He said AIDS and Ebola were created by aliens, and so...
maybe monkeypox now, too.
Yeah, honestly, maybe.
COVID.
Blame it on the aliens. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, they were like, there's enough here. I think we can confidently say. So I had a hard time figuring out where he's at right now. I believe he's currently incarcerated. I never fully understood whether what happened to him after he was dubbed insane. He is somewhere Because
in outer space.
on his Free John Ford, there's a Free John Ford Facebook page that is
Still?
very much still active.
Okay.
Their last post was on June 5th of this year. Now I'm going to read it because I feel like it gives us a little bit of insight into where John Ford is now. As of today, John will be on escorted furloughs for 3 more months. Then he will transition to unescorted furloughs for 6 months thereafter. This timetable brings John to about February-March 2023. At that point, Mr. Metcalf, who is John's attorney, will go for the jugular, forcing their hand with a full and complete discharge of this whole thing. John will be free of the whole thing for good. After his official discharge date around March-April 2023, his attorney will wait a period of 3 months before simultaneously delivering a total of 35 lawsuits to all adjacent parties involved with John's 26-year unlawful and illegitimate incarceration. This is comprised of 21 lawsuits that are ready, plus another 14 that are being prepared presently. And I could not find any information about these alleged lawsuits that are going to be filed next year.
I feel like that kind of does check out if he was never convicted of anything, but he's essentially being held, I guess, against his will at, like a psychiatric hospital or, whatever.
I figured you guys could give a little insight into that with the criminal side, but...
Because it's...
Don't they have to do reevaluations every so often?
But if he's still saying the same story and they're still, finding him insane...
The only thing I know about the reevaluations is he did go through a few. He held fast to his story, and so...
Which, if he legitimately believes in aliens and UFOs and all this stuff, I could see how they might continuously find him.
Yeah.
Insane.
Especially if this whole government cover-up fire thing.
Yeah. Now, after all this debacle with the trial, everything was very publicly being handled at this point. So the county fire commissioner, David Fischler, ended up publicly denying Ford's claims about the government starting the fire to cover up UFOs. But he admitted that the true cause may never be known. So, was Ford onto something about this fire, or is this absolutely insane? Well, let us know your thoughts. And what do you guys think? Because it's
interesting.
This is someone who is very passionate. Now, I get you can be passionate about crazy, ridiculous things, but, there is a large following that he still has that believes everything he said about the fire.
So there's Charles Manson.
True.
That's right.
That's true.
I think he's crazy.
So thoughts?
It is curious about the fires, but I think that without any more data or evidence that UFOs routinely cause fires, the government covers them up, I feel like that's just a really...
Big leap.
Yes. Yeah. I can't buy into that conspiracy theory. But, yeah, I don't know. Also, I don't know why you get so attached to, one little thing like that and just never let it go.
Well, there's I do remember in one of the articles I was reading, he was convinced that there's I guess it's like a military lab that's up there. There is a military base that's also located up there, and he was convinced that they were hiding evidence of the aliens and the UFOs at that lab. So far as he, called, I believe it was, the director of the lab, and was like, I know you're hiding these things, and she actually called him back and was like, I'm more than happy to take you on a tour of our facility to show you. We have absolutely nothing alien here, in hopes of, kind of dying him down a little bit because he has so many followers, dedicated followers.
Interesting.
So,
I'm surprised none of us touched on Area 51.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be honest, I was I tried to avoid that because I feel like it's very often talked about. So
yeah, I've never heard of that. That's very
I hadn't
interesting.
either.
And I didn't think Rhode Island was a hotbed of UFO activity.
Long Island?
Oh,
Is that where it was?
yeah,
wrong island.
it's close enough.
Wrong state. It's fine.
Close enough. It's an
You know
island.
what I mean?
Close in proximity.
But if you guys have any evidence of aliens, have seen a UFO, or actually met an alien, please feel free to drop a comment or send us an email. We are very curious. We will not allow Miranda to read those because we would like her to be able to sleep at night. So, till next week, cheers
to aliens.
to aliens.
Or not.
All right. Don't forget forget to like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Did you do it again? I did it again. TikTok and Facebook and Instagram if I didn't say that already. Spotify, YouTube, wherever else. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.